Right now, Governor Scott Walker and challenger Tony Evers face off for a second and final time. Their pitch to voters with a little more than a week until the midterms. And the Badgers are back this week on the road against Northwestern. We're breaking down 3 things to watch for during today's game.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 5 o'clock on this October 27th. I'm Josh Breiter alongside meteorologist Chris Reese. And Chris, I noticed it's not quite as chilly as what we've had some of the mornings this morning. A little mild out there.
It is a little milder, and I think we'll pretty much stay that way as we go at least through the first half of the upcoming week. But then some changes will be on the way. We'll notice some changes tomorrow as well in terms of rain and wind coming back into the picture. But for now, we do have clouds. Temperatures are in the low 40s as of now, and we'll see temperatures continue to respond from there as we go throughout the day. Pretty much that is the name of the game all across south central Wisconsin so far. As we zoom out across the upper Midwest, most of us are somewhere in the upper 30s to low and middle 40s as of now. Now, there have been some showers that developed kind of along the Mississippi River Valley overnight. Those have fallen into dry air, so there was not a lot of support to keep those. But as you look near Calgary and between Winnipeg, never thought I'd mention southern Canadian cities in my career, but as you look between those two cities, that is our next system coming together. That's going to be zipping in, bringing some chances for rain and wind as we go into your Sunday. So for now, do enjoy those dry conditions, even though it'll be cloudy going into the afternoon. And we'll see those highs right around 51 degrees today, Josh.
Canada, eh?
Canada. Yep, I can't believe I did that, but it happens.
Hey, this time of the year, all that cold and that snow sometimes comes down from there.
Absolutely. So I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, Chris, thank you. Developing overnight, Madison police are looking for a man they say tried to rob a stop-and-go convenience store. It happened on Winnebago Street around 1:30 this morning. The clerk told officers the man showed a handgun and demanded money. She says she was ordered to wait in a room back of the store while the man ran away. The clerk, a 28-year-old woman, was not injured. Police described the suspect as a black man in his late 20s or early 30s, estimated around 5 feet 8 inches tall, wearing a dark mask and dark-colored clothes. Anyone with information is asked to call Madison Police or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. We're waiting to learn more this morning about an officer-involved shooting in Beaver Dam. There will be a press conference later this morning. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office says there was an officer-involved shooting Friday on Walnut Street. Officers were called just after 5:30 for a report of a domestic incident. During the investigation, shots were fired and a 35-year-old man was shot. We're told his injuries are not life-threatening. That press conference begins at 11:30. You can look for updates on channel3000.com. The candidates running for Wisconsin governor faced off for a second and final time last night. Climate change, healthcare, and criminal justice reform were just some of the big topics. Although the two candidates disagreed on a lot, there was one thing they did agree on: the need to heal the partisan divide, especially following the news of those 13 pipe bombs sent to Democratic leaders this week.
An attempted terrorist attack against any American is an attack against every American. And that we need to stand united against terrorism no matter where it's at. In fact, I said if you take on one of us, you take on all of us, no matter what the political background, no matter what your religious beliefs.
We absolutely believe that what unites us is far, far more important and more important than what divides us. And I'm an educator. That's the way I'm going to be operating as a governor of the state of Wisconsin, seeking common ground, making sure that we talk about what unites us.
There was a big focus on education. Moderators pointing out less than half of the state students are proficient in reading, math, and science, and that 67% of black students are graduating high school compared to 92% of white students. Evers says this is partly because of the $800 million Walker took from public schools. Walker says he's dedicating more resources to programs like youth apprenticeships to get kids interested in careers earlier. Before that debate, former President Barack Obama visited Milwaukee. He encourages voters to vote for Democratic candidates in Wisconsin, saying the midterm election could be one of the most important elections of their lifetime. President Obama also focused on a number of issues, including health care and the Affordable Care Act. He criticized President Trump and other politicians for what he called shameless lying.
But there's something at stake in this election that goes beyond party. What is at stake is a politics that is decent and honest and lawful.
There are important issues, not literally on the ballot, but figuratively on the ballot. Health care is on the ballot. Our environment and clean water is on the ballot. Equality is on the ballot.
Democratic leaders told the crowd to go vote next month and bring friends and family with you to the polls. State Republicans were quick to respond to the former president's speech. Leah Vukmir says the former president lied and wouldn't acknowledge that Tammy Baldwin wants to boot millions of Wisconsinites off employer insurance. Governor Walker says it takes gall for former President Obama to come into Wisconsin and lie about health care and pre-existing conditions. It is 6 after 8 right now, and if you're just joining us this morning, odds are you didn't catch the end of Game 3 of the World Series. That's because it lasted 18 innings, shattering the record for the longest World Series game in history in both time and frames. The Dodgers beat the Red Sox thanks to a walk-off by a homer by Max Muncy. In total, Friday's game went well into this morning, lasted 7 hours and 20 minutes. That's longer than the game time of the entire 1939 World Series, according to Stats by Stats. Game 4 is tonight in LA. The Red Sox still lead the series 2-1. After a bye week, the Packers will be taking the field tomorrow in sunny LA against the undefeated Rams. The Packers are 9.5-point underdogs, the largest point spread they've faced since Aaron Rodgers became the starting quarterback 10 years ago. Despite that, Coach Mike McCarthy says he hasn't brought up the idea of being underdogs to his team. The Rams are the only undefeated team left in the league and have outscored opponents by nearly 110 points so far this year. Kickoff is set for 3:25 tomorrow at the LA Coliseum. After last week's win against the Fighting Illini, the Badgers are back on the road as well, facing another Illinois team. They'll kick off against Northwestern today. News 3's Kevin Lewis breaks down 3 things to watch for during the game.
The first thing is a big thing. The most important position in team sports has a question mark next to it. Wisconsin quarterback Alex Hornibrook's in concussion protocol listed as questionable for today's game against Northwestern. Head coach Paul Chryst doesn't keep his cards close to the vest. He keeps them inside his vest. Could be a game time decision whether or not number 12 gives it a go. Hornibrook's 25-5 in his career as a starter. Now, if Hornibrook can't go or Chryst has to call for backup, sophomore Jack Cohn's next in line. Cohn hasn't seen game action since the end of last season. He's also changed his number from 10 to 17. Redshirt freshman Danny Vandenboom saw game action this year. He threw a mop-up touchdown against New Mexico. To be continued. Northwestern's riding with Clayton Thorson, the school's all-time leader in touchdown passes, has the Wildcats in first place by percentage points over the Badgers in the Big Ten West Division. Thorson had back-to-back monster games against Michigan State and Nebraska before a dud in last week's win at Rutgers. Northwestern's 4-3 overall, but only 1-3 at home.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Kickoff this morning is at 11 o'clock. You can watch it on Fox. The Badgers have won once in Evanston since 1999. They've split the last 4 meetings. Badger Ethan Happ is just one of 6 men's basketball players on the list for preseason All-American honors. Happ averaged just under 18 points and 8 boards as a junior last year. Purdue's Carson Edwards led the voting, 65 ballots from a national media panel. Other players who made the team include North Carolina forward Luke May, Duke freshman R.J. Barrett, Kansas's Dedrick Lawson, and Nevada's Caleb Martin. Happ and Martin tied for the 5th spot on the AP All-American team. He is the 4th Badger to earn preseason AP All-American honors, joining Michael Finley, Jordan Taylor, and Frank Kaminsky. After a memorable year for the Milwaukee Brewers organization, the front office is reflecting on the 2018 season. The Brewers finished with a franchise record 102 wins. This includes capturing the NL Central Division crown and appearing in the National League Championship Series, where they lost to the Los Angeles Dodgers in 7 games. Manager Craig Counsell says the loss in Game 7 was tough, but the desire to get better still remains for the team.
We've got a lot of work to do. It's not easy, and not a lot of different work, but it's hard to get where we got. It's really hard to get to that point. Really good teams cannot get to that point. So, that's what's so daunting about it. But that's what's also inspiring about it, is that you got to work hard to try to do it again.
One of the biggest fundraisers for UW's Carbone Cancer Center is happening this morning. The 8th annual Race for Research starts on the UW campus and runs along the shore of Lake Mendota. New this year, researchers are teaming up with the American Family Children's Hospital to raise money for both kids and adults with cancer. The goal is to raise more than $150,000. The 5K starts at 9 o'clock. You can still register or donate online at carbonesrace.org. Carbone is launching another fundraiser this weekend, one that will light up the path to UW Hospital in pink. The Friends of UW Health helped hang up hot pink lights outside the entrance to the hospital. They hope to highlight the number of people affected by breast cancer. More than 3 million women across the country have a history of the disease. You can reserve your own pink light for your loved one by heading to uwhealth.org/gopink. Donations to the effort will benefit patients at the UW Health Breast Center and their families. A large number of female artists and bands fronted by women will headline this year's edition of Freak Fest, which takes over State Street later tonight. Indie pop band Mr. Wives will headline the Capitol stage at the top of State Street. That's one of just 3 music stages for the 7 o'clock event, which as always will have a large police presence to make sure the event stays safe for everyone. Significant road closures start at 5 o'clock, including Johnson, Dayton, and Lake Street, which intersect with State Street. Gorham will stay open until 6. It is 5:12 right now, and it's the second to last weekend for the Outdoor Farmers Market on Capitol Square, and it's going to be a cloudy and chilly one. Here's a live look over the Capitol this Saturday morning, where farmers are setting up right now. Chris is in next with when we can expect some more showers in the weekend forecast. And there are several shows and movies for you to enjoy this weekend. Will is also here with your 3 things to watch. That's all coming up right here on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning. Temperatures are chilly, but not as cold as they have been previously. We are starting things out in the low 40s, and there will be a lot of cloud cover today. That's all a part of the next system working its way on in. So here's a live look at how things are shaping up right now. Of course, it's dark out there, but 41 degrees and cloudy skies being reported from the airport as of now. And that's all beginning the 3 forecast highlights that we're going to be watching as we go through the next 10 days. Today will be slightly dreary, cloudy and cool, chilly showers and windy weather through Sunday, and then by next week, sunshine to start, but then an unsettled finish. So let's go ahead and start with what's out there right now. Here's Doppler track showing you that there was at least some rain around the Mississippi River Valley overnight, but as that worked its way into south central Wisconsin, most of that fell apart as it ran into some drier air. And so we'll keep the drier air around going through the day, but we will have some cloud cover. Mid-40s will be around by 10 o'clock, upper 40s by lunchtime, and then eventually topping out in the low 50s for those highs. Now, as we go through the afternoon, here we are by 11 o'clock. We're still in the 40s with some cloud cover around, and showers will be approaching at that point. So as you head out towards Freak Fest, expect to be in the 40s with a lot of cloud cover around, but for the most part, we should stay dry during the event. Now, once we go beyond that, more showers will arrive as we go through Sunday and then work their way towards the south and east as we head into your Sunday afternoon. But look out for winds to gust up as we head to Sunday as well. By Sunday morning, the most of the wind will be in the west, but by Sunday afternoon, pretty much all of us in south central Wisconsin will be facing a lot of wind. And so then as we approach your Halloween time forecast, that system that made the weekend initial, or that holiday initially look a little wet, is going to slide southeast by the time we actually get towards your Halloween. So Halloween is looking drier. That is good news. But by next weekend, we are once again facing the possibility of more showers to be in the area. That could be mixed with some light snow as well throughout Friday, with more sunshine returning by the time we get you towards the end of Saturday and Sunday next weekend.
Lots of folks looking at that also precious Halloween forecast, Chris.
Absolutely, and thankfully it does look dry. It would be really sad if the kids all had to put rain outfits over those costumes, so that's good news.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
In entertainment news this morning, Steve Carell is heading back to TV. The Office star announced this week he has joined Apple's Untitled morning show drama. He'll play a news anchor struggling to stay relevant in the ever-changing world of morning TV, something we can relate to here at News 3. Carell joins an all-star cast including Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. No word yet on when the show will debut, but it has already been picked up for 2 10-episode seasons. It's the last weekend before Halloween, and our Will Loper has several movies showing and streaming right now that'll help you get in the spirit. Here are his picks in this week's 3 Things to Watch.
Tis time!
Celebrate Halloween with Bette Midler in Hocus Pocus.
Oh, look. Another glorious morning. Makes me sick!
3 witches come back to life with nefarious plans and must be stopped by 3 kids.
Therefore, it stands to reason, does it not, sisters dear, that we must find the book, brew the potion, and suck the lives out of the children of Salem before sunrise? Otherwise, it's curtains. We evaporate. We cease to exist. Dost thou comprehend?
Well, you explained it beautifully, Winnie. The way you started out with the adventure part, and then you sort of slowly...
Explain what? Come! We fly!
Hocus Pocus is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Winnie? Why was I cursed with such idiot sisters?
Just lucky, I guess.
Okay. You awake?
What is it doing?
You're not gonna believe me, and I need you to remember what I'm saying.
If you're looking for something a little scarier, check out 2014's It Follows.
This thing, it's gonna follow you. Somebody gave it to me, and I passed it to you. Wherever you are, it's somewhere walking straight for you.
A girl must not be touched by a slow-walking, supernatural entity who is always following her wherever she is.
It could look like someone you know,
Or it could be a stranger in a crowd. Whatever helps me get close to you.
It Follows is available to rent or buy everywhere now. For an older creepy movie, check out 1973's Don't Look Now.
I really think we have to leave, Venice. It was a warning. It was Christine. She was trying to warn us. How can I... Oh, we must leave, John. John, do you hear what I say? It was Christine, our daughter.
My daughter is dead, Laura. She does not come peeping with messages back from behind the grave. Christine is dead. She is dead. Dead, 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 dead.
Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie stars a couple who experience strange and possibly supernatural occurrences while in Venice after the death of their child.
What's that, John?
Don't Look Now is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Winning film Titanic, you soon will be able to be the king of the world. A replica of the ship is set to embark on its maiden voyage in 2022. The $500 million project is now back on track. Construction of the Titanic II was put on hold a few years back because of a financial dispute. The ship will feature that same cabin layout as the original, tracing the original route from Southampton, England to New York City. The new ship will also carry 2,400 passengers and 900 crew. That's the same as the original. It will also be equipped with modern navigation and plenty of lifeboats. It is 5:22 this morning. Do you think you have what it takes to become an FBI special agent? This next story may have you thinking twice. The agency has released an app so you can test yourself against the fitness exam FBI agents must take every year. And it's harder than it seems. We'll test it out when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues. Welcome back at 526. Think you have what it takes to become an FBI special agent? Well, the agency has now released an app so you can test yourself against the fitness exam FBI agents must pass every year. Zach Myers took the test to see what it takes.
Well, this test is designed to show you that even if you think you're in pretty good shape, you may not be in the kind of shape you need to be to make it into the FBI.
Butler's Davie Track and Field was the proving ground for a real-life demonstration of the fitness test we're looking for. FBI agents must pass every year to stay in the Bureau.
I've always viewed the fit test as a kind of a check on yourself personally every year, where you are from a fitness standpoint.
Okay.
My first test, sit-ups.
30 seconds in.
Then a 300-meter sprint.
Set, go.
Then push-ups.
That's it.
Finally, a 1.5-mile run, supposedly under 12.5 minutes. Or not.
That was not pretty.
Oh, and did I mention, we only had 5 minutes to catch our breath and recover between each event. And test designers say there is a reason for that.
The totality of those 4 events together create kind of a hidden 5th event that a lot of people just don't expect until they've gotten to go through it the first time.
That's why the FBI now has the Fit Test app, so you can test yourself against FBI standards to see if you could become an agent.
A lot of people train for it specifically. Other people just kind of show up and you know, kind of figure it out as they go.
For a jogger like myself, I quickly learned a big part of the test is how fast you can recover between each event. During the push-ups, I was still catching my breath from the 300-meter sprint. At the start of the 1.5-mile run, my heart was still pumping from the sprints and push-ups. An eye-opening experience of the fitness FBI agents must maintain. In the end, I didn't score high enough to make the grade.
Your blue one.
0 points. Looks like I have something to train for next year.
Whether you want to admit it or not, there's a little bit of competition involved, and that's a part of it with us, too.
From Butler, Zach Myers, CBS 4 News.
Still ahead this morning, what to expect as the Badgers hit the road for today's game against Northwestern. And there's no excuse not to vote. We'll bring you to a pharmacy offering free rides to the polls this election day. How you can arrange a ride for yourself when News 3 is back right here on WISC. Riding the rainbow wave, the new historic push by LGBTQ political candidates representing the spectrum of their own communities.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good Saturday morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is just after 5:30 on this October 27th. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking your weekend forecast, but first, here's what's happening right now. We are waiting to learn more about an officer-involved shooting in Beaver Dam at a press conference later this morning. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office says there was an officer-involved shooting Friday on Walnut Street. Officers were called just after 5:30 last night for a report of a domestic incident. During the investigation, shots were fired and a 35-year-old man was shot. We're told his injuries are not life-threatening. That press conference begins at 11:30 and you can look for updates on channel3000.com. After last week's win against the Illini, the Badgers are back on the road today facing another Illinois team. The 20th ranked Badgers will kick off against Northwestern at 11 o'clock. The team has won 12 straight road wins against Big Ten opponents, but their last loss was against the Wildcats back in 2014. You can catch the game on Fox. The Packers are also on the road this weekend, taking the field tomorrow against the undefeated Rams in LA. The Packers are 9.5-point underdogs, the largest point spread they've faced since Aaron Rodgers became the starting quarterback 10 years ago. The Rams are the only undefeated team left in the league right now and have outscored opponents by nearly 110 points so far this year. Kickoff is set for 3:25 tomorrow at the LA Coliseum. The area's largest annual Halloween party and musical festival takes over State Street tonight. That's right, Freak Fest is back. This year, more than 15 local, regional, and national acts will have more than 6 hours of live entertainment across 3 stages. Tickets are $10 in advance or $15 tonight. Significant road closures start at 5 o'clock, including Johnson, Dayton, and Lake Streets, which intersect with State Street. Gorham will stay open until 6, and at 7, you'll need a ticket to be on State Street. 5:34 right now, and Chris, not too bad of a day if you enjoy the clouds, I guess.
That's right. At least it's going to be a little bit warmer. We are starting out at 41 degrees right now. Of course, we are mostly cloudy, and the winds are calm right now, so we're not really worried about a wind chill or anything like that. Most of us are waking up to temperatures that are somewhere in the low to mid 40s. 40 in Juneau, as warm as 45 for our friends in Janesville right now. That is still the same theme that we are seeing across the upper Midwest. There are some 30s starting to show up, but for the most part, all of us are going to be on the warmer side this morning because of the cloud cover kind of working as a blanket. There were some showers along the Mississippi River Valley overnight. That ran into some drier air, so we're not too concerned about much rainfall today, but we will keep those clouds around as temperatures warm up into the low 50s for those highs today. Across the country, we are watching this nor'easter take place along the eastern seaboard that's helping keep the air cool. But as we work our way towards Canada, it's our next storm system developing that's going to be sliding towards the south and east. So as we focus on our forecast highlights, we are expecting some showers to arrive by Sunday, but then we will break down what we can expect towards next week. Josh, it looks to start with sunshine but end unsettled.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
The midterm elections are just a little more than a week away now, and this year a record-setting number of LGBTQ candidates will be on the ballots throughout the country, representing the spectrum of their communities. Mo Leahy spoke with some of those candidates in their bids to make history.
It's being called a rainbow wave.
This is a momentous and historic occasion, a revolution, one could say.
400 LGBTQ candidates, a record number, are seeking elected office in November, running for city, statewide, and national seats.
So I'm running to improve the business climate here in the state of Connecticut.
We have some really outsized health problems in this community.
I'm running to make sure that we provide quality schools all throughout the district.
Their bids for office come as CBS News obtained a memo from the Department of Health and Human Services that seeks to rewrite the legal definition of sexual identity under Title IX provisions. If it happens, the move could hit the transgender community especially hard.
We'll fight in court, we will fight in administrative agencies, and hopefully soon, we will be able to fight in Congress.
The state representative seat Kristen Seal is running for has been held by Republican men since the Civil War. If she wins, not only would she become the first woman and first Democrat to win it, but she would also be the first open lesbian in the Pennsylvania State General Assembly.
We cannot continue to have discriminatory policy made without our voices and without our representation at the table.
According to Victory Fund, a group that trains and supports LGBTQ candidates, many of those attacks extend to the campaign trail.
As some of our candidates are poised to be successful, people get desperate and they use some of the most bigoted and anti-LGBT language to try to cut them down.
The numbers add up to another challenge. There are more than 520,000 elected offices in the United States. Fewer than 600 of those are held by LGBTQ people. Republican LGBTQ candidates face their own set of challenges. John Scott, running for the Connecticut State House, is one of only 18 openly gay GOP candidates, 6 of which are running in Connecticut.
It says a lot about how the Republican Party in Connecticut is just different. I'm a gay man running on the Republican ticket.
The open approach is one that candidates say many voters appreciate.
It's a part of who I am, and part of what I'm doing is bringing my entire self to this experience.
Regardless of what happens in November, some say they've already won.
People from the community tell me every day how much it means to them to see themselves represented, how much it means for one of us to be this out and talking about our issues and issues that matter.
Mola Lengi, CBS News, Washington, D.C.
Of the hundreds of LGBTQ candidates running in races throughout the country, 31 are running for national offices. Looking for a ride to the polls on Election Day? Well, the Fitchburg Family Pharmacy is offering free rides to make sure anyone who can vote does. The owner tells us it came about through hearing of too many people who use the no rides excuse to get out and vote.
I have a mission of serving our community here at Fitchburg Family Pharmacy. We feel it's important to embed ourselves in the community. And so if there's nothing more that I can think of, nothing more that we can do than to help people get to the polls so that they can have their voice heard and be represented by the people they choose.
You can call the number at the bottom of your screen, or you can also call on Election Day, that's November 6th, to schedule a free ride. You do not have to be a customer or patient at the pharmacy to get a ride. They are for everyone. 5:39 this morning, and are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we've got some ideas for you and the family. From some freakishly fun events celebrating Halloween a little early to the empowering talks geared towards young girls here in Madison. Your Weekend 608 is coming up on News 3 This Morning Saturday. Stay with us. At 5:42 this morning, welcome to the weekend in the 608.
And here's a look at what's going on around the area.
Who is ready for a freaking Halloween? Tonight, several local acts will dress up as their favorite mega bands. I can't believe I said that. And play tribute at the High Noon Saloon. Foreigner and the Foo Fighters tributes will also be held. A costume contest for audience members is also on the docket, so come prepared.
And maybe the freakiest place to be this weekend is State Street. Tonight, in particular, Freak Fest delivers 18 live bands on 3 stages to Madisonians celebrating Halloween. On the Capitol Square, a few of the acts are Mr. Wives, Lex Allen, and DJ Boyfriend. I can't tell if I'm cold there on that one. On Gilman Street stage, you'll have Young Gravy, DJ Mando, and Kenny Hoopla. And on the Francis Street stage, Distant Cousins, The Dirty Nil, and Dead Soft.
I'm glad you read that. That's a lot of names there. How about a little theater here? Stage Q production brings us A Lady and a Woman. That's at the Bartell Theater tonight at 7:30, tomorrow at 2, and next weekend as well. This story focuses on the challenges two African-American women face when they discover their mutual love for one another at the turn of the 19th century.
And there's a chance for young women to meet up and get inspired this weekend. The Girls World Expo was created by teen girls to empower teen girls. It's a day-long event with seminars, speakers, and activities hosted by female leaders in business, government, and other industries. That does include a session on questions you can't ask your mom and what boys are really thinking. The event starts at noon tomorrow in Madison, or at the Madison Concourse Hotel there.
The Marcus Palace Cinema is in Sun Prairie showing the movie Wonder today. It's part of a National Bullying Prevention Month. The movie is based on a New York Times best-selling novel about a boy who looks different from everyone else. The film is also about learning to accept and embrace differences in ourselves and others. Marcus is showing the movie at 10 a.m. for $5. All of the money raised will go to the United Way, which works to make our community a safer, more accepting place.
And as a reminder, you can get this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area.
Lots of freaky stuff going on this freaking
yes,
weekend.
That was definitely a favorite. Weekend 608.
Oh, all right. Well, it's certainly going to be a chilly one for anybody going out and about. And the farmers market, one of the last of the outdoor season today.
Yes, you are looking live over the Capitol this Saturday morning. I'm tracking the possibility of more showers this weekend. I'm breaking it all down in our full forecast next.
But first, happy birthday to all of the kiddos turning 3 years old today. We thank you for watching News 3 This Morning Saturday.
Well, we are waking up to a cloudy weekend, and that is going to be how things are really going to go for today. We're going to be quite dreary and cool. Sunday brings in windy conditions along with some chances for some chilly showers, and then next week we'll have sunshine to start, but then an unsettled finish. Let's go ahead and dive into our forecast, starting with what's going on out there right now. Of course, we do have cloudy skies. Temperatures are in the 40s as you wake up and begin to head out. Now, the clouds are brought to us by this weak little disturbance that spawned some showers along the Mississippi River Valley this morning, but as they continue to work their way to the south, that ran into some drier air, so they really didn't produce much in the way of some rain around here. But expect the cloud cover to be with us through the morning. By 10 o'clock, we'll be in the mid-40s for a lot of us, upper 40s as we do approach lunchtime, and then low 50s for those afternoon highs. We may see a few breaks in the cloud cover that will allow for some peaks of sunshine. But as we head towards midnight, temperatures will fall back into the lower 40s, and we'll begin to see some showers coming into the picture. Now, if you're headed out towards Freak Fest tonight, do expect the cloud cover to be around with temperatures that will be in the 40s. I would do that dance, but you all just don't want to see that this morning. Now, once we get beyond midnight, those shower chances come further into south central Wisconsin, so then we will see greater chances for showers through early Sunday morning, and then eventually that'll dive towards the south and east. But winds are also going to really be picking up once we get this system on through here. So watch how wind gusts do respond, as here we are on Sunday morning. The greatest winds are out along the Mississippi River Valley. As we head into Sunday afternoon, that's when you'll notice more wind around our area. So another breezy weekend. It'll be chilly, and with those showers, it'll feel much cooler as well. But that nor'easter on the eastern seaboard helping tap into a lot of that cool air that we do have in place. There's a system that'll come near Halloween, but that'll get out of here before Halloween. So that is why Halloween is trending drier. Then towards next weekend, another shot of colder air that'll settle in right over the upper Midwest. We are looking very chilly towards the end of our 10-day forecast. Out ahead of that, though, temperatures will be around average for this time of the year, but we'll have several rain chances in the mix as well. Thankfully, Halloween looking a little bit drier at this time. I just realized I have Halloween on the wrong day. See, it's early. I am tired, but then as we get you into Friday, a chance for some rain and snow and then drying out near next weekend. Aww. Trixie Ray in Fitchburg, absolutely adorable there. I thought that was a pacifier for a second, but it might be a dog toy.
I think it's a dog toy, but who
Still
knows?
cute.
What do
if
we
you're
know?
going to be out walking the dog, 3 o'clock, mostly cloudy skies and 51 degrees.
All right, Chris, not too shabby.
Absolutely, not at all.
All right, thank you so much. 5:51 is your time right now, and there's a full hour of News 3 ahead at 8. Then on our news at 6 and 10 tonight, it is Drug Take Back Day. We're learning more about the local and national effort underway to lower the number of unused drugs in your medicine cabinet. But first, Trump or Treat. A politically themed Halloween display is turning heads in one neighborhood. We'll show you a very, very Trump Halloween when News 3 This Morning Saturday returns. Welcome back at 5:55. Have you decorated your house for Halloween yet? Well, a California man's elaborate Halloween display is the talk of his neighborhood.
And there are skeletons and spiders, as you might expect, but this year's display has a clear political theme. Andrea Nakano shows us a very, very Trump Halloween.
Come with me, my child, into the heart of darkness itself.
It's a spooktacular Halloween display, but it's one the creator says has a frightening political message.
The administration is basically the scariest monsters we can think of, so that's why we do the Halloween display like this.
For Daniel Balsam and his wife, this is a very, very Halloween part duh.
We were hoping he'd be impeached between years 1 and 2, but the material just keeps on coming.
For the most part, the material has his neighbors chuckling.
Funny, but sad and true. I'm glad that he's decided to use his voice to kind of state his opinion, to share how he feels.
Even kids are getting a kick out of these Halloween decorations. The spiders are a big hit, but so is the star of this elaborate attraction.
Why do you like Donald Trump? Not the real one. He just dressed up.
The display has grown compared to last year, and Daniel fears it will get even bigger next year.
It could be worse. I don't know if we've hit bottom.
And as much as those strolling through the neighborhood are enjoying the decorations, they won't be too sad to see this go.
I would prefer this nightmare to be over. Like, soon. November is not too soon.
I always love the homes that just go all out for Halloween like that.
Oh, yes. That was cracking me up. That's good. I'm going to have to drive around. Someone around Wisconsin with lots of decorations. Go ahead and show that off. Send us pictures, I guess. But speaking of a little scary is the amount of rain chances that we do have this week. It was a close call with Halloween, but for the most part, that holiday is trending drier. So that is fantastic news. We could have a chance of rain and snow Friday into next weekend before drying out.
All right, Chris, thank you. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here again at 8 for more News 3 This Morning Saturday. CBS This Morning Saturday is coming right up.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.